Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to the Popternative podcast, the podcast and talk show where we have digital discussions in the worlds of TV, film, sports, pop culture, news, hockey, everything really depending on the guest who talk about it all. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis. On social media, know me as PD Beats. My guest is a hockey player who just captured the gold medal with Team USA at the World Junior Hockey Championship that took place in Edmonton. He is a Arizona Coyotes prospect. John Farinacci is with us. John, welcome to Popternative and congrats on the gold medal.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
We talked about it a little bit before. Everyone dreams to play in the World Junior Hockey Championship, but under these unprecedented circumstances, is it safe to say this was a life-changing experience for yourself?
Yeah, definitely. Like any time you could put on the USA jersey and play for your country, it's an unbelievable honor. And let alone putting it on, but to win a gold medal at a tournament like that with everything that's been going on and in the world is something extremely special to me.
And I don't think people still realize that this was this process started very early on for you guys, even before the going to the bubble. Like, this whole process was long. Explain to my viewers how long that process was.
Yeah, so we were supposed to have camp in August, and that got canceled. So there's a little bit doubts about what was going to happen, and then we had a camp in October, a couple games, some scrimmages and practices, and then we met up December 3rd, I want to say. So met up December 3rd, had about a week-long training camp, and then off to Edmonton and in the bubble.
Absolutely. We interviewed Bobby Brink with Craig Button as part of our World Junior preview show. Craig basically told them, right out the gate, you guys were in a tough group because of the seedings. You guys had a lot of good teams in your group. In the tournament, you have a opening loss to Russia, and then after that it was just kind of undefeated and you won the gold medals. It's safe to say that was an eye-opener and that kind of set the tone for the rest of the tournament for you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think we really played too well in that game, and I know I said this before, but we got punched in the mouth early on, and I think dealing with that adversity and handling that was so important for us. And going into the later stages, I think when teams would bring on those waves and have energy over us, I think we could lean back on that first game and say, hey, we know how to handle adversity. We got punched in the mouth. So I would definitely agree with that.
You've had an opportunity to wear the USA jersey many times. The Ivan Alinka tournament, you were a captain of that team, and obviously a way better outcome this time for you guys in that tournament. Absolutely. How important is it though to take those kind of big games and those big moments where you get to wear the C and bring it to a team like you did with the World Junior Hockey Championship?
Yeah, I've been saying it since that Halinka tournament. I think although it was a pretty bad experience, I do think that it was a positive one in the end. I think going through that adversity, the week afterwards, the next month afterwards, just having that on your mind and dealing with something like that, I think was super important going into a tournament like this, knowing, what can happen in a game or in a tournament and dealing with that adversity.
Even when you're not in the tournament, you watch the World Juniors every year, like a lot of people do during the holidays and everything. You keep up to date with it. Every year they say there's 5 teams that could win the tournament type thing. USA is always kind of in that fold. Going into this tournament, seeing kind of all the players that were available for all the countries, what was kind of going through your mind when you kind of got named to that team, realizing that you were going to be playing with a lot of different players from all around the world, guys that, will go to NHL camps or might play in the NHL right now with everything going on? There's a lot of players in this tournament.
Yeah. Obviously it was pretty special to be named to the team. And, I think something that was super cool. We had a lot of Zoom calls when we were in quarantine as a team. And, I felt like we were super tight, super close. And, like you said, there are so many talented players from all over the world going to it. And I felt like we really gelled together as a team pretty fast. And, I think that really helped us to come out with the gold.
Absolutely. A couple of players I just want to talk about, the two obvious ones. Trevor Zegras he brought everything to the tournament.
Yeah.
Anything you need from a player, he kind of brought it. And Spencer Knight, of course. How important were those two players throughout the whole tournament?
Yeah, obviously Trevor won the MVP and, put up 18 points, 19 points. I'm not sure what it was, but it was a lot. And he came through for us in some big situations, and he was always making plays. And I'm sure, like you guys saw, he's just so crafty and so good with the puck. And then obviously Nider, I know we were talking about it earlier. He came up so big in that gold medal game, pitching a shutout against a great team, Canada. So both those guys were unbelievable.
We also talked before that, players like yourself and Caulfield and Turcotte, people like me that are kind of watch a lot of hockey, see these players play in other tournaments. They see the college hockey. They watch the, national development team program. But I was telling you, there are some players that I, like on your team, that I didn't have a chance to watch that much that I got to watch in this tournament, like Beniers and Berard. So that was really cool to see a lot of American players that you're not maybe used to that much seeing really shine in this tournament, John.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of goes with what I said earlier about everybody, those Zoom calls and us just gelling together as a team. I think everybody knew their role and everybody knew what they had to bring to the team. And we knew that we were super confident in our group and what we had in that locker room. And, like you said, we have the Trevor Zegras and the Knight, but, we have the Landon Slaggerts and the Moynahans and those guys who know their role and know how to contribute to the team in order to win.
For you specifically, you show up to this tournament with the experience playing internationally for Team USA, captain of a team. You come in this with 5 goals in the tournament, so you could score, you could put some goals up. You can also provide leadership. How important was this tournament in terms of a statement tournament for John Farinacci moving forward for your potential, your future pro career?
Yeah, obviously, definitely the most important thing was coming out with that gold medal. And honestly, I think for me, I was really just trying to do whatever I could to get that gold medal and help my team out and, play that role that I needed to play. And, there's definitely some confidence that comes out of this, knowing that I can play at that level. But, at the end of the day, I had some great line mates and some great teammates. And, it's just so special to get that gold.
What was going through your head when you got that gold medal from your captain as well? Which was a really kind of cool thing as well, right?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't too sure how they were going to do it. And then I saw the bronze medal game and, I actually got it from John Van Beesbrook, and Yorkie was to my right. But, having them hand it out was just so special. We've been with it since the beginning, and to finish with them putting the gold medal around our necks was so special.
I mean, does it still, do you ever because you have the gold medal handy, right? Like, do you ever so do you ever kind of just think about things, self-reflection, just kind of look at it? How's that been, kind of having it around?
Yeah. I mean, it's been pretty cool just to kind of look at it and, think about all the hard work that was put into it to get it. And, it's funny, there's lots of bite marks in it. That's for sure. Just messing around with it afterwards. So, like you said, just looking at it and, thinking about the memories that we made over the last month or so is just so cool.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so I do have to ask, because I know that there was a lot of talking to Bobby and talking to, Sam Colangelo, who's been in the show before as well, talking to them. I know there's a lot of kind of waiting around and, self-isolating before. So I do need to ask this then, because, we have, we do a lot of pop culture interviews on the show. I mean, what were did you watch a lot of stuff while you were in there? What was going on?
It's weird. So, I mean, I'm not used to it, but being from the US then going to Canada, there's not many there's some shows that aren't really, that I can't really stream or whatever. So, I mean, my go-to shows though are really, probably Entourage, and The Office, of course, that's a great one. And then, probably South Park. Those are kind of the main 3 that I was rolling through in quarantine. Then obviously a little bit of Xbox. I had my Xbox there. So,
absolutely. Yeah, no, the Office will just never go away. I love it. It's such a good show. We interviewed Melora Hardin, who plays Jan, on the show.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome.
And it's just, she was we filmed a lot of those, because people also don't realize, right? When you see a movie or you see a show on TV, there's a chance that they film that a while ago, 3-4 years ago, right? So the filming of The Office was a long time ago for a lot of them.
I didn't know that, but no, that's a show that will never get old. I could watch every episode 100 times and it just doesn't get old.
No, absolutely. There's a little bit of a brightness coming from your thing. It must be from your gold medal just hanging around there.
Yeah, no, to my right, but I got the light going up here a little bit, so I'll try to block it.
No, absolutely. Um, you know, you look so it's interesting, right? Because obviously with, the pandemic, all the routines have been completely destroyed essentially. The the like everything is kind of just thrown out the window right now. I just kind of want to know from your perspective. I mean, some of the players that they were even saying like that played in Edmonton with you in the World Juniors, right? Like didn't play a lot of hockey before, like barely played any hockey type thing, depending
Yeah.
on the situation. I mean, how do you kind of go into such a big tournament like that with like so much uncertainty before that, with like a lot of players not having a lot of games? Like that's a challenge like on its
Yeah.
own, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I was pretty fortunate. I was playing in the USHL for a little bit. I think I played 6 games, and so I was able to play a couple games, and then obviously that was different from being at Harvard, of course, and not being in that sort of usual routine. But I think that first camp that we had in the beginning of December was huge. We had a lot of guys who hadn't played games, like you said. We had a couple guys like myself who have played a couple games. So I think that first week was huge to get everybody kind of on the same page and same game shape, and get the hands back and whatnot. So obviously it was tough, but I think having that first week was super important.
The college route, deciding to go to college, is obviously a big decision in a hockey player's career. And you're seeing a lot of, I'm Canadian. I know a lot of Canadian players are now looking at those options because it gives them kind of more time. Is it safe to say that obviously with like regular circumstances, you know what I mean? Like the decision to kind of go to college also is, to get an education, but also kind of like more time to develop as a hockey player, John?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was super important for me. I mean, you're playing against older guys, some of them 24, 25 years old. And, coming in as an 18-year-old freshman, it was definitely pretty tough. But at the end of the day, I think that last year was so important for me. And, just to play against those guys and, they're bigger, they're faster, and they're stronger than me. So you got to figure out how to adapt and throughout the year, just get better in all assets.
Did you get any cool text messages or Instagram messages after you won the gold that you were kind of surprised about that you could share? I mean, I know your cousin Ryan's played in this tournament before as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know about text messages, but I know Ryan, he tweeted at me. And then I think in the Finland game, Pat Maroon actually tweeted at me, which was pretty cool. And then Alex Killorn responded being a Harvard guy. So that was definitely pretty special.
That's awesome. Is it like, it seems to be there's a lot of bloodlines that run deep in hockey. There's a lot of, cousins and a lot of brothers and everything. Do you find that kind of like is something that doesn't like people don't realize sometimes? Like there's a lot of people like your last name Farinacci, right? They look at you, but they find out afterwards that you are related to the Donatos, you know what I mean, who's never hockey family. That's a very interesting thing. Like the bloodlines run deep in hockey, especially with a lot of American players as well, I'm realizing.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think it's just when there's a love for the game in somebody, I think it always, branches down to the kids. And, my dad, he played hockey at Hofstra University. My brother, he played at Tufts University. So pretty much everybody in both families has played hockey to some capacity. And, like I said, I think it comes from, obviously Ted Donato, he played in the NHL for a while. So, having that and having him and having Ryan as a support system is obviously super special.
What was because obviously you're playing in this tournament, you're kind of away from your family and friends, obviously. But a lot of players are gonna keep in touch with their parents and Zoom calls and everything. What was kind of the support like remotely from your family during this tournament?
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of support from everybody, whether it be on social media or just getting text messages of good luck and stuff. But I was pretty much FaceTiming my family every night. They were watching the games with other extended family and whatnot. So, just feeling that support and knowing that they're cheering me on was so cool. And like I said before, it's just so special.
Absolutely. John, thank you so much for coming on the show a little bit to chat. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I mean, where can people follow you on social media, keep up to date with everything? Just your name on Instagram and Twitter?
Yeah, I think it's at JNotch9 on both Instagram and Twitter.
And thank you so much for doing this. And again, congrats on winning the gold medal for Team USA. That's awesome.
Thank you very much.
Can we see the medal quickly?
Yeah.
I was waiting throughout the whole tournament to see when you were actually going to take it out.
Yeah,
Seriously,
dude.
man, thank you so much. Well, this has been Popternative. YouTube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Until next time, this is World Junior Gold Medalist John Farinacci and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.